Dr. Jordan, thank you. It's an inspirational experience for me to be able to present Gary today. Gary Romero, a terrific baseball player, a loyal and trusted friend. The fire that burns brightest in him is the great love and enthusiasm that he has for everyone and everything in his life. Back in our high school days, back in his college days, and still burning brightly today. Gary has a special place in my heart, for he's not only a personal friend to me and to my family, but a wonderful son to Ernie and Irma, a great brother to T, husband to Susie, and father to Olivia. With splendor in his impeccable appearance, his infectious smile gives every room and stadium a glow, and he's done it all with grace and elegance. As captain of the team in 1979, Gary has an unmatched passion for the game and an enthusiasm that was boundless. Gary represented Metro State with poise. He represented Metro State with passion. He represented Metro State with pride. He represented Metro State with class. And he represented Metro State with tremendous distinction. His towering courage, his loyalty, devotion, and dedication still reap the rewards of victory. Gary has set a standard of excellence by which all future generations have been and will be judged by. His coach, Bill Hellman, said that he considered Gary the best overall athlete he ever had. Gary's competitive spirit, mental toughness, and confidence were the staples of his career. He was the mainstay of the team. He was the core and its soul. I've been really lucky throughout my life. I've covered the greatest athletes on the planet. From Brady to Ali, Gretzky to Jordan, Nicholas to Montana. But I don't know a single one of them, or anybody who was bowled at 300, had several holes in one, and is being inducted into his university's Hall of Fame for another sport than those two. Certainly, none of those people I just mentioned can say that. He's played for his team the exact same way he's led his life. The right way. With honor and respect and a love for his teammates, coaches, opponents, and university. You see, in this country, we have no Valhalla. We have no Olympus. But we do have halls of fame, where all the great men and women of our time can be honored. Gary Romero, your day has arrived. The cheers are now echoes. We remember your achievements, and we hearken back, and in our memories we know that time never really stops for the great ones, the truly special ones. What we can do is crystallize them in our minds, recount the moments that you gave us, and immortalize them in our field of dreams. And that's what we do today, here for you, Gary. I also have tremendous appreciation and great respect for the way that Gary has carried himself. I was lucky enough in my life, 17 or 18 years ago, to interview President Mandela after he was released from prison. He was a huge boxing fan. And he said something to me in that interview that I think about every day. It's the most simplistically genius thing I've ever heard. He said, people will forget what you say, and people will forget what you do, but no one will ever forget the way you make them feel. Every time you're around Gary Romero, you leave feeling better about Gary and better about yourself. In closing, as I already have, I want to quote my dear friend Al Davis and say, those of us who remember your exploits and inspiration will never forget you. The name of Gary Romero will ring down the corridors of remembered time as long as this university immortalizes the great men who inspire with passion in others the will to be great and dare them to dream. Gary, it's an honor to induct you into this Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here with all of you today. God, what you say after those two guys, right? It's pretty amazing. Jim, that was awesome. We've been friends now for over 40 years. And you've always included me and invited me to many of your special events and occasions. I'm happy and honored that you were here today with me on my special occasion. Thank you, Jim. I know how busy you are. I know how tight your schedule is, and I really appreciate you being here. I want to congratulate all the inductees as well. It's a tremendous honor for all of us, especially you, Greg. The words that you spoke about me, it's unbelievable. You know, you're not just a great ball player, you've been a great friend. We do business together. I respect your whole family. And I miss our buddy who passed away recently as well. And one thing that people need to know is you could really hit a baseball. You had a swing like Will Clark. That's him right there. That's how big his swing was. Now, let me start by thanking my mom, because Mom, you have to know that I appreciate all the sacrifices and things that you did for me when we were growing up. All the games, you know, taking care of the uniform, making the sacrifices, making sure I'm there on time. I really appreciate everything that you did, Mom. I love you. My sister Valerie, thank you for all your support. But today is not just about me, because this campus is a lot different than when I was here. It's completely changed. You know, when I was here, we had to do some uncharacteristic things when I played. Things like shovel the field. We actually built the dugouts. And we also had to put up the fence before and after all of the games. I do recall, and I've shared this story with some of my guys, we were on a spring trip, I think it was to Grand Junction, and coming back from Grand Junction, the Eisenhower Tunnel, it was impossible to get to. We literally had about 500 yards still to go, and our team had to get out of the vans, and I don't know if the tires were butter or if the snow was that bad, but we actually got out of the vans, put our spikes on, pushed the cars up the hill, and pushed our own two vans to get back to school. But today's not just about me, it's about all of the guys that came before me. I mean, some unbelievable players that came before me, and these people need to be recognized because I truly believe that they are the ones that built this program. Guys like Dave Tanzik, Tony Schoenberger, Kurt Culver, Jimmy Peters, Eric Larson, Jim Fahey, Joe Nabalski, Mark Weber, Rich Belizzi, Jack Andy. I mean, some very, very special players. And I never lobbied for this to be inducted into the Hall of Fame here. But now that I am here, I am going to lobby for the few that I believe that are deserving of this award. There were some great players that came before me, Dave Tanzik being one of them. I haven't seen Dave in years. I saw him earlier and I started crying this first time I saw him. But this guy was a tremendous baseball player and a representative of the school. A great friend. Tony Schoenberger, one of the best guys you guys could ever meet. One of the best men I've ever met. If you have 5 minutes after this is over, go and visit with him, you know exactly what I'm saying. He deserves to be in this Hall of Fame. He was a tremendous ball player. A guy by the name of Mike Marsley. Mike Marsley also was a tremendous baseball player. I think Mike Marsley struck out one time in about 250 or 300 at-bats. The time he did strike out was the last game of the season. He hit second in our lineup, And I think I might have stole 100 bases if he wasn't hitting second at the line. Every time I was stealing, he'd hit a shot. You know, none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for the vision that Dr. Jordan and this gal over here has. The new facility that they're building, it's a $20 million facility plus. And the guys that are here now are very spoiled compared to what we had back when. It's amazing. And I think after this, I think they're going to have some carts to take some of you people to visit and take a tour of it. There's one other player that is very deserving of being up here, and his name's Kurt Culver, and he's sitting over there as well. I believe Kurt Culver is a Hall of Famer. He was a 5-tool player. He was an unbelievable talent, and another great guy. And if you notice, I keep saying great guys. Today, like you said, is not about me. One of my peers wrote this, and it really touched me. And I'm going to share it with you. He said, "Gare, I'm proud of you as you receive this honor. Your baseball stats speak volumes about how good you were at baseball, not only at Metro, but everywhere you played. Many called you a natural ball player and athlete. I witnessed that the natural athlete came from the hard work, dedication, and love of practice. From studying the game, taking thousands of ground balls, turning 1 million double plays, taking BP until it was too dark, perfecting the throw to the right shoulder, reading situations, anticipating, scouting pitchers, looking for weaknesses in the opposing defense, to learning how to hit a curveball." That wasn't just me, that was all of us when we played. When we played, there were no video games. This is what we did. My closest friends in life are the people that I played baseball with and met on a diamond. One thing at the very bottom of this that he said is, who knew that the character we possess today would be forged 30 years ago? The friendships we developed through the love of baseball have stood the test of time. That, my friend, gets you into the Hall of Fame of life. That's exactly how I feel about all the guys that are here to share this special day with me. You know, in closing, just like Greg said, we all have our heroes. And when I was a kid, my mom and dad had different philosophies. I recall my dad waking me up at 5 in the morning and my mom getting mad at him. He would take me out and we'd play catch for hours. And she'd say, "Would you leave him alone?" And he said, "He likes it. Go back to sleep. He likes it." She said, "You're treating him like he's in the military." He said, "Go back to sleep, he likes it." She said, "But he's only 4 years old." That's the kind of mentality that my dad had. You know, I fell down a lot of times, and I always got back up. And most of the time, there was a hand there. That hand was my dad's. Because he's the one that taught me how to compete, how to respect the game, and not just in sports, but in life. He's truly been my mentor, my hero. He said you live with integrity, commitment, reputation, and trust. You respect your teammates, you respect your friends. You work hard. There's a lot of people that are going to doubt you, which they have my whole life. If you work hard enough, you can achieve whatever you want. He didn't care what we grew up to be. He just wanted to be the best at whatever it was. So, his name deserves to be on that trophy just as much as mine. And I'm thankful that he spent the time with me and my sister, and I thank all of you for being here to be with me on this special day. Thank you all so much.